What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 144. This week, we're talking to Rodney Hawkins. He's been a partner of ours now for just almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years next month, I believe, or January, February, somewhere in there, of 23 is when we started working with him. He's got Midwest Farm and Land, where he works as a land salesman, and then he's got his own business called RHO Outdoors, and he's come a long way with that since we first started working with him. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. We got into a lot of land-related stuff. Of course, everything he does have going on at RHO Outdoors now, and just some hunting stories, too. He's killed a couple nice deer this year, so we got to talk about that. We talked about Nate's deer that he killed, the deer that he missed, and a few other things as well. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this week's show. Let's get into it. This is the Ridge Hunter Outdoors podcast. I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yeah. I've been not talking so we could save it all for the podcast.
3-hour podcast.
Yeah. So, what's been up? Lots of new stuff for sure.
Lots of new stuff for sure, yeah. Deer season done?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's start.
For some of you.
Yeah, for some
Some
people.
of us.
Let's just start there. You killed, when'd you kill your first one?
Tuesday night before shotgun season.
Tuesday night before. So I was thinking you killed one with a bow.
Killed one bow on Tuesday night.
And then you killed one second season? Or did you kill them both with a bow?
No, I killed Saturday shotgun season.
Oh, it was first season, wasn't it?
Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
First time I've ever bucked out that I can remember.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever bucked out.
Done within a matter of a week.
5 days. That's kind of the way to do it, too.
That's like Dawson Wood territory there.
Yep.
And you know what's even better? I bet I drug a total of 30 yards on both of them.
That's even better.
Something to celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, one I drove the truck up to. So
Can't beat that. You didn't have to drag yours very far, did you?
40 or 50 yards, yeah.
So I thought, unless you were lying on camera, I thought that's what you said.
No, yeah. I never lie. Never, ever.
Especially not on camera.
not on camera.
Sadly, it was uphill. So
Was it?
Yeah.
Should have went downhill.
I wish he went downhill.
Yeah. He didn't go very far.
No. Oh, no, 30 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm glad he went the direction he did, I suppose, because if he'd have stayed on my side of the creek, it would have been 50 or 60 yards, but I mean steep.
Yeah.
And I am not.
And you
a
had to
steep-
get him through the creek.
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, we could have went either way, but yeah. I prefer a very easy drag job.
Don't we all?
Yeah. The first one was pretty. The bow was last second hunt.
Uh-huh.
Run home, throw the clothes on.
That was the bigger one too, right?
That was a bigger one.
Yeah.
Run home, throw the clothes on.
Don't be scared of that microphone now.
Run home, throw the clothes on, and then think, man, I got a over a half-mile walk, and it's 75 degrees. So I thought, I got this bike here for a reason.
That's right.
So I rode that bike in, got in the stand, was blind, and text Bo and Chris and said, hey, I'm hunting here. And 12 minutes later, I texted him and said, dead deer.
Holy cow. Man.
2:30 in the afternoon. And I said that bike is a game changer because, one, 75 degrees, I would have been sweating my butt off walking in.
You wouldn't have been in the tree.
I wouldn't have been in the, I wouldn't have been in the blind yet. And everything, it just worked out perfect because got in the blind, my phone rung. I'd been working on a big land deal, right? Well, when I got out of the truck. So I answered the phone thinking, it's early. And I'm talking on the phone. I'm watching a doe walk 60 yards from me. And I hang up the phone and I seen some movement. I looked over and there's this buck. And I thought, he's going to follow that doe across the creek and out the field the other direction. Well, he didn't. He come walking right to me. 20 yards.
Bad decision on his part.
Yeah, it was a bad decision on his part. But yeah, I wouldn't have been there for one. And two, I probably would have bumped him walking in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think we talked about the bikes yet. The last time you were on, I don't know if you even had them yet. I remember if
probably not.
If you did,
I was
just working on it.
Yeah.
But I've been using one too. I got one before the season started, I guess. I think it was September.
Yep.
And even there, like at the cabin, it's not I don't know, a couple 100 yards,
Mm-hmm.
150 yards of what would be a walk. But you get on that bike and zip right down the driveway there. I could ride the thing up underneath of that tree, and I'm in like 2 minutes. And no sweating, no ground scent, no very limited noise. And then another thing we've talked about, especially like hunting there, it allows me to hunt that particular spot on a west wind because I can slip by, even if they're bedded to the east of me, I'm by them like that, and it's even if they catch a whiff of something, it's just like, and then they go right back to doing what they're doing. Instead of if I'm walking past there, now they've got however long it takes me to walk by to smell me on that bike. I mean,
with your scent drift on that bike, they honestly probably do just have a chance at getting you for a breath or two.
Yeah,
and that would be it.
Yeah. And that's not going to be enough to get them.
If you've got a somewhat sustained breeze of any,
and it's going to have to be, like you said, sustained, because even if it's just, they may not even get you at all.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're walking, it might give it enough time to, the wind picks up a little bit, floats down to them, and it stops.
Well, that particular day, it wouldn't have been a scent problem. It would have been, he would have seen me.
Yeah.
No, he would have seen me.
Oh, yeah.
Just the timing of it all, too, yeah.
I was probably 30 yards from where he walked out, where I walked in. But, I put on Facebook about the bikes. I said, no scent, no sweat, no effort.
Yeah, yep.
That is incredibly enticing to a lot of people in this area.
I took it in one time. They were actually shelling corn, so I couldn't walk straight in where I normally do, and it's a 1/4 mile walk where I normally would walk in anyway. So I had to park on the other side of the farm, and the only reason I still went there is because I had the bike. And I think, like, my watch will automatically say, hey, you're doing an outdoor cycle or whatever. Do you want to record it? So I'll hit record. It was like a mile total what I ended up riding that thing. I wouldn't have walked that day.
No, and if you did, it took you 15 minutes instead of 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, they're nice. I mean,
did you get both of them sold now?
I still have one demo left.
Do you? Oh my gosh.
And we need to explain what these are.
These are, well, first of all, I have RHO Outdoors now, which we've talked about that. These are Fission e-bikes, and they are a trail bike it's got the big fat tires on it,
And they make a regular street bike too.
They make a regular street bike too. Yeah. But they went nuts right before season, and I've sold 12 of the 14 I have. I sold one of my demos last week to a guy that had a Quiet Cat. No, excuse me, he had a Rambo, and he had sold it, and he said, I'm more impressed with this bike than I was my Rambo bike.
And the Rambo's 3x the price?
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably 3, 4. Well, I think he gave $3,500 for his Rambo.
Okay, I was thinking they were more than the Quiet Cats, maybe even more than that.
Well, that's just like these bikes. Like the bike you have, you can get that in 1,000 watt. And then, titanium, you can get them up to $6,000.
Yeah.
But I don't have them deep pockets, or I would have bought that ground.
No, and I don't, I don't know. There's obviously some benefit to it, but if you're just doing what we're doing,
no,
that bike does everything I need it to.
Oh yeah, and it's going to. And like you said, I took off across that bean field, and I was running 17 mile an hour, and I thought, man, I need to slow down.
Right.
I wipe out. I'm going to have bow in my
head.
Thought
about that. So usually I'll run the GoPro while I'm doing it, so at least it'll be on video. But there's a couple of places on Dusty where we rode it down across the bean field, and it's a long ways back in there. And the same thing, I wouldn't. It's the options are either walking all that and having to get there 20 minutes earlier, or taking the side by side. And this particular spot goes by some decent bedding, so on that bike they got no idea I'm running through there with the wind. But on that side by side, we might blow out the whole bedding area getting back in there.
You need to put that footage on Fall Pursuit.
I would. If I crash, I'll put it on there.
No, I meant riding it across the field.
Oh yeah, so the last time, it was the first day we got snow. There was snow on the ground, and it snowed all that next day, and it wasn't supposed to. I forget what day that was. Maybe like Thursday before gun season. Does that sound right?
Man, I cannot remember.
Yeah. Anyway, it was spitting snow. My GoPro quit working. It got so cold the battery wouldn't work. So I had it on, but I'd turn it on to record, and then it would shut right off. So I didn't even get anything on the way in. But
Saturday.
Hang on a second.
Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, Me and you sat Saturday morning, and that's when I started coughing and hacking and doing bad. Got sick after that.
You're welcome.
It snowed later on that day. It snowed like all day that Saturday because I couldn't hunt that evening. Did you go hunting that evening?
So was that the weekend before?
Thanksgiving weekend.
That was Thanksgiving week. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because we drove to Fairfield that evening for Thanksgiving.
We hunted Saturday morning.
We hunted Saturday morning. What did we see? Just a couple of does.
Yeah, I went to the cabin that evening.
And heard some dogs barking and doing bad. And seen a spike losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that thing does. That one little curve horn spike. He just walks everywhere and is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to the cabin that evening.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last day of November 30th?
Oh, probably.
Would have been?
Yep.
It had been Saturday. Yeah.
Yep.
30.
Yeah. Because that was so then... Man, it must have been Monday evening then when I took the bike in the snow.
Hung around.
It did.
And then because it wasn't supposed to snow that day. And I mentioned this, and I don't remember if I put it in the episode or not, but one of the interviews I did, I mentioned it where this year... I don't ever remember a year where the predictions have been more wrong consistently. Like winds not where they're supposed to be, rain when it's not supposed to, snow when it's not supposed to, like sunny or cloudy. It just seems like all year it's been bad.
Yeah.
I've got busted twice because of it.
Yeah.
One time might have been thermals, but it was still just completely opposite where I thought it would have been and where it should have been. But
I took one night during shotgun season, I took off on the bike and I thought, okay, I'll cut it. I was hunting with Cole, and I took off across this field. I showed him where the stands was, and I took across this field where they drilled the wheat, not remembering that it was muddy and that, they drilled wheat. They no-tilled it. So here I am going across this field, and I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of soft, And I hit one spot, my front tire goes like this, and I thought, I'm going off this thing. And I start pedaling just to help it, but I was cutting down the length, the depth of that tire. I still going across those fields, so those bikes will get you there.
oh yeah, yep.
Did you have mud all over your back?
No,
Really?
I didn't. But I've just secured another bike dealership too.
Have you?
Yep, and it's I've been trying to get another one where they had some different options. That Fission doesn't have in the trail bikes and the hunting bikes, and so I got Mock Wheel.
Okay.
And if you Google top e-bikes, Mock Wheel's the number one. Well, the good thing about the Mock Wheel is they have the step-through bike, which basically, as we used to know them, as girls' bikes.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you don't have to step you step through it.
Yeah.
Which will be nice for if you have a lot of clothes on, cold, older men, older women, because I had one guy that, actually had 2 or 3 older gentlemen that would have bought bikes if I would have had a step through model.
Well, that's a big thing. Even like I would get when I put my bibs on and then get layered up and swinging over. If you got anything on that back rack, like, it's not an easy thing to do. So, yeah, the walkthrough is definitely a big one.
Yeah. So, I'm going to get some of those in the spring. Or probably they're going to be maybe even a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Depending on what their pricing is. Right now, he sent me the pricing, and it's special pricing for, Black Friday and stuff. So we'll see what it's going to be next spring. But I think that'll be a good option for people too because of that. And then their street bikes are quite a bit. They have different models and they're a little bit cheaper. So I've got people that's wanting a street bike for $800 or $900, and I think I can provide that now.
And this is all again, this has been open since the last time we talked. You got your store finally finished? Finally finished.
We got the signs. Well, we've been in there since, about August, September, actually working out of there. But I just now got my signs hung yesterday and stuff. And I said, I finally feel like I'm actually open.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's in Florida at 301 West North Avenue, just catty corner from Huck's. And our Midwest Farm and Land office is there. And then RHO Outdoors is there. We're going to turn one of the bays into a showroom, which that's the phase 2.
The Midwest Farm and Land I was going to ask you about, Nate had told me there was some ground that just come up for sale around us. So, and you said that's sold now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
There was a 40 somewhere.
Oh, tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
You missed your chance.
Yeah, evidently.
Prime hunting ground.
And so, anyway.
About 2 acres of it.
That's what you were telling me?
Somebody thought it was prime for
Prime.
something.
It was
tonight.
prime to something.
Yeah. Honestly, that being right there where it is, you could make that pretty good.
I think so. It'd take
And
a
it'd
while.
be easy to hunt.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty easy to hunt.
Shannon and Lee used to hunt that a
Really?
lot
Yeah.
when we hunted.
Yeah.
You're never going to hold deer on it, but all you got to do is get them to come there for a little bit. And do one
Right
of
off
those
the
properties.
corner of it.
And I say that
bottoms.
if you did a lot of switchgrass or something out there and some natural, let that field go, like you could probably hold some deer too.
On those hillsides, they would like those hillsides for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, years ago, Lee would walk down that fence row and go back in there and get behind Swartz's and get in there on Greenwald down in that bottoms.
What I was going to ask is if there's anything you got for sale right now.
Got some farm ground for sale.
Yeah. Because we got there's a lot of guys from out of state that listen. And I know a lot of them looking for ground. And then obviously some local guys too. But I didn't know if you had anything right now. Because it comes up and...
It comes and goes. Like I listed 40 acres over east of Jeff, northeast of Fairfield.
Oh, yeah. That went fast.
That went fast.
Most of it does right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it was good. It is a good piece. And it went fast and like in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I've had, I don't know how many calls on it, emails on it. Right now, I don't have any. I've got one piece of hunting ground, but it's probably just a little high.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. If you got it too high, it's not selling. But I've got several acres of farm ground right now. Got a couple of decent houses. But as far as when you get recreational ground that's priced right, it just don't last. 'Cause it's bringing anywhere from $3,750 to $5,000 an acre right now.
Yeah. So I'd heard some people, not from Illinois, though, a couple of them from Iowa, talking about how the land market's been softening a little bit up where they're at. It doesn't seem that way here when it comes to the recreational properties, because like you're saying, if it's priced right, it's selling.
Yeah. We have seen, I talked to 3 lenders that I do business with, or I don't do business with, but my clients do, from Farm Credit.
Mm-hmm.
And then another friend of mine who's a commercial lender too. And this has been about 6 weeks ago. And I said, what are you guys seeing in the land market? And they're saying, well, we've seen at least a 5% pullback already. And we're probably going to see another 10 to 15 by spring. That's in the land market, the tillable land market. The combination ground's the same way. But with the rec ground, hunting ground, you're not seeing that pullback.
Yeah.
And the reason in the tillable is $4 corn don't pay for much.
Correct.
$4 corn, they're losing money basically.
Correct.
And yeah. But
on paper,
on paper, you're losing money at $4 corn.
I'm not going to say anything.
The new pickup just happens to be in the driveway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a word.
And $9 beans, what was they 2 years ago? 13, 14?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. So, and then, we just went through an election. There was a lot of uncertainty where things was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to get into politics on that end of things, but
things are going to be better though.
Yeah, things are going to be better. They should be better. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If it went the other way, we would have probably seen a lot of stuff for sale.
Yeah.
But with that being said, now we're into the holidays. So I think we get another interest rate cut. I think you'll see some stuff starting to hit the market again.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is now we have, as a company in Midwest Farm and Land, we have several agents that's got, here's what happened. We're getting calls now that I got 40 acres out here. I want to sell it. It's all hunting ground and it floods, but I want $6,000 an acre for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can't sell that.
Mm-hmm. No one's
Nobody's
paying $6,000 an acre for something that they can't.
Well, they don't know if they're going to hunt it with or not.
Yeah, you may not be able to hunt it one year, let alone you sink I don't know, $400 or $500 into food plots, and then they flood out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. So
Plant something for ducks.
exactly.
turn into
Put some millet out there.
You said something about interest rates. What's the highest they've been before they came down here? What were the highest they were a few months ago, and now what are they down to now?
Well, on some of the local banks, I was seeing 9% on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You get your
And what was that, 8 months ago?
probably.
Yeah.
Yep. We're seeing right now 6 3/4, 7 on some stuff.
Mm-hmm. And their speculation is still going to come down?
Yeah, we're thinking after the first year, the Feds will make at least a quarter point mortgage cut. That's what it looks like. Who knows? They might come out with a half, but and then they might not do anything. I mean, it's government. We never know what's going to happen. But we have seen one of our agents got one of their clients got a loan approved for 575.
Wow.
On a residential home. But
15 or 30?
Probably a 30.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is probably excellent credit, large down payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking 800 plus credit score probably to get that.
Yep.
The housing market, there's just not a lot to sell. Again,
Because it all sold 2 years ago.
because it all sold 2 years ago, and you have a lot of people still wanting to buy, and there's just not much of a market, or there's not much inventory out there.
For the right amount of money, I know where they can find a house.
Yeah, but you got to replace it.
That's fine. I'll figure something
You
out.
gonna move in with Nathaniel?
Yeah. Might.
Move
I
back
don't
in.
think Kaylee would like that much.
Move in with Blake.
Yeah. I don't think Blake would like that much.
He might if you'd cook for him.
Maybe. Oh.
But that's kind of what's going on. I mean, it's been another down year in real estate, but the last 3 or 4 has been down. I mean, it's still good.
Coming back down to earth a little bit, though, probably, because there for a while it was unreal.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially around COVID. And
COVID.
all the cash was going around from that.
Well, there was so much PPP money out there, and
When was that? Early in 21?
early 2021.
Yeah.
And
Because that's when we looked at that one house.
Yeah.
I guess we were kicking the tires, so to speak. Thought it was maybe achievable for us, and then just boom, it was gone.
it was gone. Yeah.
And I know how much the guy paid for it, because I was told that. But anyway, and then it sold for an incredible amount
of money.
more money, and there was no changes.
When we were looking for houses in St. Louis at that time, it was like they'd go on the market 2-3 days later, they were gone, and if you came in at asking price, you were not even in the game.
It. Oh yeah.
I mean, 150%.
And that was happening around here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just the way it was.
that's
But
the
we
way
looked
it
at
was.
so many that was like, if you like it, you better put in a really good offer today with
no
the
home
right kind of
inspections.
loan,
Yeah.
or you're not getting it.
Yeah,
Somebody else is
people-
going to come in and pay more money for it in 2 days.
And people was actually waiving inspections and everything just because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want any contingencies on it. And cash was king.
Mm-hmm.
We knew the PPP money would bite us in the butt somewhere, and now it has. We knew that was going to have to be paid one way or another, and now it is.
Yeah. Well, and all that stuff led into the inflation that we've had over the last 4 years, 3.5 years, plus all the freaking money we send overseas all the time. But anyway, I digress from that.
Yeah.
The hunting ground thing.
We're not going to get political.
Yeah, no. The hunting ground thing, I wonder if, because obviously places like Iowa, or even I'm sure they're seeing it in Kansas now, that land market's probably softening just because it's getting harder to get tags. So there's no out-of-state people driving prices, and I would think there's not as much lease ground that would be driving prices for private ground. And why I say that is I think around where we're at, there's so much ground being leased now.
Yes.
It's like if you don't buy something and own it, you got nothing to hunt.
You got nothing to hunt. And that's, we was talking the other day, just like when I was talking about Lee and Shannon earlier. I mean, we could just go hunt about anywhere we wanted to hunt.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to ask, I mean, people didn't care.
We talked about this before when we had Richard on. He said back when he started, of course, there were like 3 people hunting at the time when he started, but he'd go knock on someone's door and say, hey, can I bow hunt out here? And they say, yeah, whatever. And they'd close the door and laugh. He thinks he's going to go kill a deer with a bow. You know, like no one cared.
No one cared. But then it got to be such big business in the really 2000s. Probably is when it started to take off and get big business, And now it's just huge. I mean, I would hate to see what Illinois, if you took all the money that is spent on just deer hunting. I mean, from the groceries that's bought to the motels to the tags to the ground gas, it would be astronomical.
Yep. It's a huge part of the economy, especially downstate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, parts of upstate too, but obviously that's more driven by the bigger cities, Normal, Bloomington, Chicago, Springfield, stuff like that. But down here where we're at, I mean, a lot of the economy is driven by outdoor recreation.
And you mentioned the lease.
Ag and hunting is a huge part of the economy. Obviously nothing touches the ag, but...
You mentioned leasing. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he's got 40 acres he's thinking about leasing. And his brother-in-law leases quite a bit of ground, and he asked me what I thought he could get out of it, and I said probably $30 an acre.
I wouldn't take anything less. If I was him, I would not take anything less than $30 an acre. Would not even start.
Here's the thing. He got to talking to his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law says, "I'm getting more than that," and then his brother-in-law talked to the guys that's leasing his ground. And he's going to ask $50 to $60 an acre now.
Yep. And there's guys paying it.
And there's guys paying it.
Right now, there's guys paying $50 an acre.
And it's nuts. And then you got, right around me, there's some guys come from Metro St. Louis to hunt. They're paying $5,000 to hunt per person on about 50 acres.
Crazy.
Just to come in and hunt.
Yep.
4 or 5 days.
Wow.
There's a lot of that around where we're at. I mean, whether it's out-of-state guys or guys coming down from up north or, like we're talking Metro East kind of area. And there's not a ton of local guys that are paying. I mean, there's a handful for sure. But a lot of the lease ground is guys that are coming in from somewhere else. And they're the ones that can and are willing to pay that. And
there's several local, there's not a lot, but there's local outfitters that's raised their prices, it's forced them to raise their prices on lease ground.
And I can't say I don't blame the landowner for getting that kind of money for it. And if the guy's got that kind of money to spend and want to hunt it, then I don't blame him for wanting to do it. I do think you could probably dig into it a lot, but it's a weird thing where the people leasing the ground are like, hey, I'm going to charge you $50 to hunt. But I'm not going to do anything to improve this for you. You're just going to pay me $50 for the right to hunt it.
Yeah, then they're still going out and spending $300 or $400 on food plots, and
if they even let them do it,
most of them do.
Yeah,
but
that just depends on, for example, if they got stuff in programs or something like that, that'll even let them do it. And if they won't, then you're just paying literally just to be able to walk out there and hunt. You can't improve it. You can't do anything to it. That's where, to me, it's like, how are you going to charge that much money for something that you're adding no value to other than it's just there? I guess location is obviously part of the value, and some people are okay with that because they're paying it. But it's a weird dynamic between the leasee and the leaser and the prices and all that. Some of it's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah. I just wish there was more hunting ground coming. I mean, I think I've got a lead on a couple pieces, and if I get those, they'll go quick as well because I don't think they're going to be priced outrageous, but then you never know. But as far as the leasing, it's a business. I mean, I'm thinking about dipping into it and starting to manage some leases. I don't have a problem with people coming in and leasing ground. I mean, it's good for our industry. It's good for our area. There's some people that just can't stand it that people are coming in hunting. I mean, years ago, Lyle Allen used to let the guys from Champaign come in and hunt. I don't know if you remember that or not. Oh, yeah. Lyle used to let guys from Champaign come in and hunt all there on Wildcat. And they was just shooting everything up and running people off. And that was not good for our area, but it was, they wasn't doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
the
what
Yankees.
And that's what a lot of these people are doing that's leasing ground. They're doing it the right way. They're being respectful.
Yeah.
If they're spending all that money, they don't want to shoot a little one.
Yeah.
Well, here's something I will add. If you're like most hunters out there, at some point, you've dreamed of having a piece of hunting ground to call your own. Maybe you finally decided to make those dreams a reality. If so, you need to talk to our guy, Rodney Hawkins. Rodney is a land specialist with Midwest Farm and Land. If you haven't heard of them, they aren't your average real estate company. While they do deal in traditional residential and commercial real estate, their specialty is recreational and farm ground. With agents like Rodney serving across the state of Illinois, no matter what you're looking for, they can find it. Even if you want to sell what you already have to upgrade, downgrade, reinvest, whatever, they've got you covered. For more information, you can contact Rodney at 618-925-3153, and he'll get you taken care of. On top of what he does for MFL, Rodney also has his own company called RHO. They currently carry hard and soft-sided blinds, blind chairs, tree stands, and cameras from Radix Hunting, Tacticam trail cameras, Fission e-bikes, and he's adding new stuff all the time. I've personally used all of these products, and I'm beyond happy with every one of them. The Fission e-bike is a game changer, and you will not find a better one for the price. If you're interested in anything RG Outdoors has to offer, you can send them a message to their Facebook page, RG Outdoors, email them at rgoutdoors@yahoo.com, or again, just call Rodney directly at 618-925-3153.
I should not say that as a blanket statement.
To all of our out-of-state guys,
Edit that out.
you can send me a message and explain this to me. Because what I really don't understand is somebody who will pay thousands of dollars for a lease. They will pay thousands of dollars to get up here. That's permits, hotel cost, or Airbnb or whatever, gas, food. They'll pay all that money, and then they'll come up here and shoot a 115-inch deer that they could have shot in their backyard at home. Like, I just don't get why you want to. If that's your thing, that's cool. But if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I would rather shoot that deer next year when he's 140 inches than this year when he's 120.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, I don't have a problem with the overall idea of it and them paying it. And I think anybody that's butthurt about it and says they really do, if they had the opportunity to either make the money, they would take it, or if they had the money to spend on a lease, they would do it too.
Well, I was listening to Wes and Lathan last week, and they kind of got on the same subject.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, we like to go out west and do the same thing. So what's any different? Because I'd love to go to Colorado or Montana or somewhere in elk hunt.
Right.
So that's no different than me going out there as them coming here.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem with it whatsoever. I just wish there was more ground for people to buy and
it's
make me more
interesting
money.
too. I was just kind of thinking about this when you said that a second ago. All the fence rows and small patches of timber that are gone now for farming, like now that let's say a guy had a piece of farm ground with four fence rows on it and a little patch of timber. And now all he's got is this little patch of timber, and he's got, 6 more rows of corn for each fence row versus what maybe he could have made leasing that out to somebody to hunt. I wonder how if you put a pen to paper on that, how that would even out, you know?
I don't know.
If you're getting $50 an acre to lease the whole thing, now a guy's not going to pay that because there's nothing but, let's say, a small patch of timber. But if it's fence rows, like there's guys that do that because they got places to set up a tree and they got places to sit and hunt. I don't know what it would come out to, but it's just interesting because but at the time and some of them still do it, I know, but at one time there was way more value for the agricultural ground and the farm ground, but the recreational ground you're seeing that catch up with that in some places, you know, and there's definitely value to it.
Yep.
Way more than there used to be.
There is. There's way more than there used to be because, just look at it. 5 years ago, you could go buy 40 acres of timber for $1,000 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now it's $4,000 to $5,000 an acre.
Yep. They talk about it. Well, back in the day when it used to be $150, $200 an acre, you could have bought it for the price of the trees on it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If one good walnut tree is worth $200, you can find one walnut tree an acre on almost anything with timber on it.
Yeah.
And you could have owned Southern Illinois for the price of the timber.
I wish I had the chance.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the middle, right after I got out of high school, I don't know if I've told this on here or not, but right after I got out of high school, I could have bought a farm just north of your mom and dad's old house
Yeah.
for $350 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the time,
and that was, no, it was $250 an acre. It was 350 acres. And now that farm right now would sell for $10,000 an acre.
Mm-hmm. But you don't have, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And it's all relative too. You're good. It's all relative too, though, because we might be saying the same thing 30 years from now. Like, man, I wish we would have bought such and such or whatever, you know? And it may not. It may level out, and I don't know if it'll go from whatever the percentage was from 350 to what it is now.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, at some point we may be saying, man, I wish we'd have bought whatever.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, there's always woulda, shoulda, coulda, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's still there. I mean, we're still selling stuff. We're still getting listings. Jacob's got his license now, so he's dabbling.
You guys both working out of the shop there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So both of us are working there. I still got my office I still got a desk in Salem. I go over there once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Main office is in Breeze, and we still have a satellite office in Centralia. So, if you're in Southern Illinois or Central Illinois, we're looking for agents. If you are an agent and you want to, not happy where you're at, you know, get a hold of me and I can talk to you. Or if you're wanting to explore a new career, you know, get a hold of me. I can talk to you about that too. We're talking to somebody now down in Hamilton County, so that'll be a good one for us. And
it's Midwest Farm and Land, but like you said, you guys do residential stuff too.
Yeah, we do it all. It's when Brandon started, he was with the Whitetail Properties, so he's basically doing farm ground, hunting ground, stuff like that. And then, so when he named his company, he named it Midwest Farm and Land, which is kind of a deception to the whole gamut of what we do.
But let's say you're someone now that's at a real estate company and you're basically just selling residential property. You're kind of limiting yourself on potential earnings because there's this whole other world that we're talking about could be pretty lucrative, and I mean, for the right stuff, you know, that's out there of selling farm ground and recreational ground too, that you may not even be getting access to, especially if you look at so let's take ABC Realtor or whatever from around here. No one's going there looking for recreational property.
No.
Right? Like no one's going on there. If they do, it's by happenstance, or maybe they saw a sign in a field or something. If they go to Midwest Farm and Land, they're coming to you guys for that.
For that reason, yeah.
But they also know, okay, you're a real estate company, you're probably selling residential property too. So as opposed to real estate company, you may not automatically associate that with the farm ground or the hunting ground.
See, we got 2 or 3 agents that really, that's all they do. So, I mean, they'll sell the farm ground if they get it, but you know, that's their specialty. That's what they do, is sell residential properties. And one of them's out of Mount Vernon. She does a lot down through there. And then we have one in Salem. She sells a little bit of ground. She's getting to where she's picking up some ground too. But yeah, I mean, the longer you're in it, the more you're going to have. I mean, but yeah, we're a full service real estate agent. The difference in us compared to your ABC Realty company is we pay for the platform that is used for, let's just say we got somebody in Kansas wanting to buy in Illinois, which that wouldn't make sense. Let's say we got somebody in Louisiana wanting to buy in Illinois. Well, they go to landwatch.com. They can see all the listings that's in Illinois. That's a pretty lucrative, pricey, not lucrative. That's a pretty pricey thing to be involved in, because we pay a lot of money to be on that platform. And that's where about 90% of your guys go to look for. You
have to be there, right?
Yeah, we have to be there, or we'd be irrelevant. We'd be out of the business.
Yep.
So what I was getting at is ABC Realty Company or whatever. There isn't actually an ABC Realty. So, XYZ Realty.
I was going to say, let's
change that.
BFE Realty.
So they can't afford to do that platform.
Right.
So they're not going to do that. They might have a land listing, but they're just promoting it on Facebook, stuff like that.
They're not marketing it.
They're not marketing it the same way because
that's worth something to your guys'.
The
people that you're working for too.
Well, that's
not just the buyers, but the sellers.
That's one of our listing things. We say, hey, here's what we do.
It's going to be here. Yeah.
This is what we do. So, to market your property, we do this. We do this. And that helps. I mean, especially if you're trying to sell farm ground or residential or recreational ground or ground with houses on it too, because those all go on. In fact, all of our listings go on it. It's just not like if I listed a house here. Well, the body shop down here that I have, that's on it. So all of our listings are on it.
Yeah. If anybody's looking for I don't know if it's turnkey or not. I haven't been there in a while, but body shop, Rodney can hook you up.
Yeah, I got one right here in Wayne City.
So that is he just selling the property? Is he selling the business? Like, how are you marketing that?
As a body shop, a mechanic shop.
Right.
Basically,
you're marketing the facility.
They're marketing the facility and to a machinery shop, like a farmer.
Yep.
That needs a place to come in and work on equipment.
Right.
You could build a house back there. You could put a double wide back there.
How much ground is right there?
Just a little over an acre.
Is there?
There's quite a bit of room on the back side of it.
Yeah.
Now he is leaving the.
You can shoot geese out of your back door too.
Yeah. He is leaving the.
I don't know if it'd be legal or not.
The neighbors would be hot. You could do it one time.
He is leaving the paint booth in there just because it's such a pain to get out. But
I'm sure.
But he would sell the paint booth out of it if he had the option.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous building. Mm-hmm. It's just in Wayne City.
Right.
It's got two large bays. It's got the paint booth bay and then the old paint booth bay. It's got a nice office area. It's got nice storage. And it's got the other side where they worked on, you had to frame rack and stuff. So, but, somebody needs to buy that.
Yeah. It's been, I guess it's not been that long, but it's been
about a month.
Yeah. So I was thinking not quite as long as I thought. One of these days we'll get the studio finished out and you won't hear the trains going by.
What train?
Yeah. I don't know if it'll actually pick that up or not, but
I didn't hear a train
going by at the back door right now. Speaking of that, have you seen this little shack out here that someone put up? Yeah, when you guys go out, you should go out on
West section
line.
No, this road up. I can't even think of the name of the street right now. This one right back here. There was a house that was for sale. For a long time right there on the tracks. Well, now like part of that lot they put up. It looks like a portable building that I think someone's fixing to live in. I don't know who it is. If they listen to this, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are, but
Wayne City not have no code enforcement.
We don't have enforcement of much of anything right now.
Who's the mayor?
That's another story for another time.
We cannot get political. I really don't think we want to get political.
No, I don't want to. I'm going to keep my hands off of that one. For those of you that don't know, that's better off, probably.
Buy an electronic subscription to the Wayne County Press.
Yes. No, I'm not. No, we're not advertising for the Wayne County Press. You can just
Wayne
talk
County Mess.
Yeah, you can just talk to your buddies about it or something.
Call the Outlook.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I read that piece they did on you guys.
Hey, your hat was in there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
On
front page.
Front page, I know.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm. There's a great picture of Nate. I was kind of in the way.
Did you have the camouflage MFL hat on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I was disappointed in you when you killed your deer, though. I wanted you to take that orange hat off and put the MFL hat on.
I do not do anything illegal.
You got to have orange on 200 square inches. Your vest, though, is probably...
I probably have 800 square inches.
I got a kick out of... It was one of them we didn't end up using, but... I forget what you even said on it. I've got a little blooper file now I'm building, but
oh, that'll be hilarious.
I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but we might laugh at it.
Has that got all Nate's misses in it?
Well, that So I told Nate the other day. I asked him after he missed Palmer, nicked him. He had one picture of him, and then I asked him. I texted you, I don't know, Saturday one of the gun seasons or something, and I said, have you seen him yet? He said, no sign of him since that night or whatever. I said, well, if it makes you feel any better, like 6-something thousand people have seen you miss him now. So I don't know if that helped or not, but
nah.
I also wanted to post. I got to stop because Karma's going to get me. I'm prepaid on Karma when it comes to this stuff, though, I feel like. So I'm going to say it. When I posted the video of you, like the short today of you shooting that buck, I wanted to put something about it being at 25 yards. And, you know, like we all know, you would have shot over its back with a bow. It's a good thing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing you had your gun.
Exactly. So, honestly, the thought crossed my mind to take my bow that night because that stand, if anything happens, he's going to be right there, you know. And I was like, that would be all right, you know, kill him with a bow right there. I mean, the thought crossed my mind, but I was like,
as sure as you do that,
I ain't actually going to do that.
One,
you know, like
one would get hung up at 55 yards with a little twig or two.
Yeah, I'm crippling myself.
Yeah,
if I would take my bow.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, he walked in there like 25 yards, and I mean, you can see his decent hole that he walked through.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
And Nate said,
Well, I did like that first time, and I'm like, yeah, I got a gun. You know, I was like, that I'm gonna be sure and get his attention, and I did that, and I was like, he's deaf. Like this deer cannot hear. You know. And then,
he didn't really even flinch that first time. You can see him; he turned his ear or something just a little bit, but he just kept on going.
He did that, and I was like, wow. Yeah, like you could already hear the hammer was clicked back. You could hear that if you're listening close. And then that second one, I was like, this is it. Like I will not have a shot. You know, if he makes it through this one, and if he doesn't stop, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I mean, I'd have to fling one over there through the brush at him or something.
You just deviated from your normal stop. The we've all heard at least a couple times now. That's a funny thing. If you watch videos or whatever, everybody's got their own little whatever it is. For some reason, mine always starts with a B. A bet. I don't know why. Other people, it's but they do it the same way every time.
Yep.
Unless apparently you have a gun in your hand and you're really trying to get their attention. You kind of added an H to the beginning of that one.
The funny. Well, this you guys will laugh at this. I might have told one of you too, but the shotgun deer I shot, it was pretty early. It was by 4 o'clock. And
in the morning? That's before shooting night, right?
But
you got to cut that out. Don't let him tell that.
I'd sent Cole to the spot that if he'd went to where I told him, he wouldn't have shot the deer he did. So, but anyway, because I said there's 2 blinds you can get in this one or that one. And I said the other one's where I shot my deer with a bow, probably your best shot to kill him a decent buck. Well, he stopped at the first one because he liked that. He was in it last year. But anyway, I went on around to the other side where I didn't expect to see anything. And that was after Saturday morning hunt. We seen 2 does and a buck, and I was frustrated because truthfully the whole season been frustrating, even though I did kill 2 nice bucks because I just didn't see good bucks like we usually see. And so anyway, I'm sitting there in a tree, and this tree leans back like this, and it's kind of like, my gosh, I'm gonna go to sleep here. You know? But anyway, I noticed a doe about 400 yards out, cornfield messing around, and so then I seen this buck, and I thought, he's too far away for me to really see real good. And then he disappeared, and I didn't think much about him. And a little bit later, he reappeared over there, kind of chasing the doe around, and he disappeared again. And I thought, I'm gonna grunt at him, and somehow he heard that grunt, and the next thing I know, I look up, and he's running straight at me. He's still about 250 yards away, 300, and I'd set the butt of my gun down on the platform of the stand, the 4 platform, and last year for Christmas I'd got a sling that crosses over, and you unsnap it. Well, I forgot to snap it back. So I thought, man, I need to get my gun up in case, because I'm still not sure he's big enough to shoot. And so I pulled my gun up, and it wouldn't come up because that snap had fell down between the platform things.
At this point, you were rattling him in.
Yeah. And so I've got doe standing over here next to me looking at me. And I thought, oh my gosh, worst case scenario, they're going to blow and then I'm done. And so finally, I thought, I tried it 2 or 3 times, and I'm looking down. I can't really look down because he's running straight at me. And you've seen the rack. It was really tall, so it made him look really big. And so finally I just jerk it. and it snaps. He looks right up at me. And I look over to the left, and them does are still standing there, and I'm thinking, how in the world?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, I'm done. So I just sat still. Well, he puts his head back down, starts running again. And I thought, oh. And he was running on the other side of the creek, and there was a little bit of brush. And I thought, okay, I will get my gun up, and when he comes out and I'll shoot. And so basically I had about 15 seconds to realize if he was big enough to shoot or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, and he stopped, and I shot, and he ran like 30 yards and fell over. But that little sling thing,
Uh-huh.
it was like, golly.
It was way too late by then, though. He was going to die.
Yeah. I thought, if I can go through that, if he's still coming, he's dying.
You got to shoot him at that point.
I have an incredibly similar story on my buck. So I don't know why, but I just always take my bow hanger, screw it in the tree, and just hang my gun on the sling up there on that bow hanger. It's never been a problem before. It never
is until it is.
Yeah, it's never been a problem before. I was videoing those does or button bucks, whatever they were, that came past me there. I heard a grunt. I looked over, and he was directly between me and the sun. It was early when I shot mine. I don't know, 3:45 probably. I heard a grunt, and I was videoing those, whatever they were behind me. I looked over there, and there he is. He's 35 yards. And I was like, I don't know if you're good enough or not. I'm looking. Of course, I immediately swing the camera over there.
Mm-hmm.
I got on him. I was like, I don't know. He turned his head, and I was like, he's kind of wide. He looks decent, And then I got a little better look at him. I thought, well, he's got that big dark forehead. He's probably not young. I still was trying to figure out how old I thought he was, exactly what he was. Never seen him before. And I thought, you idiot, you better at least try to get your gun down, for if you do decide to shoot him, because he's going to be in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting down.
35 yards is kind of in your lap with a gun.
Yeah.
He's there. Yeah. He just stepped out of that thicket where I expected them to come from if they were going to do it. And that's exactly what he did right there. I was sitting there and standing up. I mean, it's no problem to reach up and grab that thing, but sitting down and trying to hold and make sure that camera don't swing around. So I'm reaching up with my left hand, and I finally got my head turned up where I could see that gun hanging on that sling. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it probably looked like I'm trying to wave a flag at like a football game or something. The maneuvers I was doing.
Trying to lasso the deer.
Yeah, trying to get that sling to come off of that bow hook.
You didn't get that on camera.
This is why we need another GoPro, first of all.
And I'm like, he's got to be looking right at me, And finally it come off of there. And I snap my head back and look at him. And all I can see is his butt sticking out from behind two giant white oak trees. Mm-hmm. Like his head was behind it the whole time. I was like, what are the chances of that?
Right.
So then I got stood up, turned all the way around, and then, got him there. But yeah, it was a heck of a maneuver.
You said that when you first saw him there, you're like, I don't know about him. When you're watching the video, when he's looking like, he's side view, I think, his profile, it's like, he's a decent deer. And then he turns and looks at it, and he's like, yeah, he's a shooter.
Yeah. At first I was like, I don't know.
Just almost 145 inch 9-pointer.
I was looking at, I don't know. And then he turned and squared up with me. I was like, he's not too bad. He's got that big dark forehead. I don't know. That does something for me. And I thought,
Kaylee, if you're listening, get you some dark makeup on your forehead.
I thought, he don't look too bad. He's standing there grunting the whole time, Mm-hmm. He don't look too bad. And I thought, I don't think he could beat 3. And then I kept thinking, maybe he could. I don't know. But I mean, that was what? I mean, it's early December. I mean, he's run down.
Oh, yeah.
But his neck was still pretty big. I thought, he's got to be older than 3. But he wasn't too heavy. I just back and forth. I thought, there ain't no way I'm going to have a chance at nothing nicer than him.
Mm-hmm.
I've already blown it on my big one, and he seems to be underground. So, anyway.
On that deer went 143 and some change, wasn't it? 142 and some change? What was it?
142 and 7.
Yeah,
yep.
So 143. Which told him the whole time they'd catch 140 easy, but what do I know? Anyway, what do you think Palmer goes now?
I gotta stick right at 150. I don't know. He'll probably be just barely north.
That's where I was putting him right around high 140s, 150. Yeah. Because before you were thinking he was like 100, and not that.
So I'd sat down with this buck here, the one I just killed, looking at him, holding on to him, just making up numbers in my head. I had him between 139 and 144, just thinking, what I thought he was going to measure. And then looking at all the pictures that we got of Palmer, I had figured him at 149.
Only thing that he really don't have is a ton of main beam.
No.
But he's got mass and he's tall.
He's heavy.
And that's where you get your score. I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast, but when you're talking about score, everybody wants to worry about their width and main beams to some extent, but that's still only 2 measurements. So if you got a deer that's got 25-inch main beams versus a deer that's got 23, okay, that's 4 inches difference. So we're talking 140 to 144. If you take a 10-pointer that's, let's say he's even from his 2s on down, one of them has an 11-inch 2, and the other one has a 9-inch 2. And let's say his brows are similar difference. Now we're talking 8 inches on each side different in that deer. And he don't look that much different on the hoof.
No.
I mean, 9-inch 2s versus an 11-inch 2. You're talking 3, at the very least 12 inches of difference in those two deer. Same thing with mass. If you take a deer that's got 4.5-inch bases versus 6.5, don't look that much difference, but it's 4 measurements.
Correct.
So that 2 inches, if it carries out, which a lot of times it would carry out, then that's 16 inches difference in a deer. He's got 2 inches bigger at the bases, which 2 is a lot, but even an inch, that's taking him from a 140-something class deer to a 150-something class deer.
Yep. This deer, he wasn't too heavy.
What was him at the bases? 4.5?
4 5/8 on the right and 5 on the left. See, he broke his left brow tine off, but he's got this big, I think it was a 4-inch sticker point coming off the burr, and that left brow tine, both of these brows was real close to his burr. So he didn't have much, that was, that was kind of a happenstance bigger measurement,
right?
Because there wasn't no space for it to get small,
right,
between the burr and the base of that point. But anyway, that left side was right at 5 because of that. It was real tight through there with that big sticker point. 4 5/8 was the regular side.
I passed up the biggest deer that I didn't shoot.
Is that the one you sent us the picture of?
Yeah, that one there.
Bo's buck.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice deer.
I can't believe you passed him.
I know. I would have shot him all day.
I had 30 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Because
I thought, well, Rodney passed that thing. He's waiting on a giant. He'll kill a giant.
Well,
the one, not saying the one you kill isn't a bad deer.
That was November 8th.
Yeah.
So that was still early.
Yeah.
And I knew there was another 10-pointer in there that made him look, small.
Yeah. Hey, that's one thing about cameras too. Now, if you didn't have trail camera pictures of a deer bigger,
I shot him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yep. And but I had him for 30 minutes easy. About 15 minutes of he's standing broadside.
I haven't seen 30 minutes combined of mature deer from the tree stand this year.
And that was early too on that one. It was like 3:00. I just got to stand and that was before time changed. No, it's been after.
Our partners at Flambeau Outdoors have some of the best solutions in the industry for your decoy and storage needs. They're focused on innovation that matters, and they build their products to last. They're probably most known for their whitetail, waterfowl, and turkey decoys, and that's for good reason. They've got a lot of quality options at great price points in each category. The Boss Buck is a personal favorite of mine in their whitetail line, and I've been throwing their Stormfront mallards in front of duck blinds for years now. Don't sleep on their storage solutions either, though. Whether it's fishing tackle, firearms, ammo, or archery equipment, they've got you covered. They just stepped up their archery storage game, too, with the new Formula bow case. It might just be the best bow case on the market. We've been using ours for several months now, and I'm continually impressed with the ease of use and security they provide. Make the most of your time outdoors with Flambeau. Realism that gets results.
But anyway, November 8th last year was the one when I killed that one deer. So I thought, I might go to see if I can kill another one. Well,
He was right at 150, wasn't he?
147 and
Yeah, right there.
147 7/8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought, man, it's early. We've been seeing some decent bucks, on camera.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't for a while, but I knew they was there. And then I let him pass, and then Bo and Chris just both give me, you should have shot that thing. Well, then I decided the next day I went in the office, and I'm looking at the one hanging on the wall, and I'm looking at that picture, and I'm looking at I should have shot him.
Yeah.
And, but all I could see was the brow tines. I mean, they was like that. I thought, man, Well, then
That's never stopped Nate.
yeah, and then a couple weeks later, it was just the next weekend. Me and Bo was hunting. I was back in that same stand, and I thought, and we'd been seeing him because we'd already seen him one other time because Bo was in that stand, and he played out in the field for an hour and a half, just chasing deer off, just running back in the plot, and he'd get about 70 yards from me, and then he'd walk back. And he did that for hour and a half, 2 hours.
Typical 4-year-old.
Yeah. So then he finally comes walking straight at me. I thought, okay, he's going to walk right to where he was before. Well, he gets right to the edge of the brush. He's probably 15 yards from me, and he makes a left. And he goes behind me. And it's thicker than all get out. I mean, I had 2 shots. And I thought, okay, he's going to go this way down the creek, and I can shoot him. Well, he turns and goes the other way. So I text Bo, and I said, shooter coming at, that buck's coming at you. And it wasn't 5 minutes. He said, no, he's dead. I shot him through the brisket.
Did he?
Yeah, that's the only shot he had on him. So, and then when he took it and had the Euro mount done, they said it was 150.
Yeah.
And then and who knows how tall the Browns was because
Guy over here passing up 150-inch,
Yep.
4.5-year-old
Yeah.
deer.
Yep.
but anyway, a lot about deer hunting. So I think that's what the podcast is about, though, isn't it?
That's right.
So
That's right. Before we get you out of here, I do want to talk a little bit more about the RG stuff and everything you
let's
got
go
going
about
on
some
there.
Stuff going on there. We're actually doing, going to make some changes. Not really changes, just different things happening. Which we still carry the whole Radix line, or we're going to carry the whole Radix line. I mean, the blinds, ladder stands, probably going to get the sticks and open and close sticks this year and have them. Probably going to get a couple of the ground blinds like you bought. Have them on stock. Clifford's made some changes in the stands. Couple of changes that I think are going to be huge. I was telling Nate about them on the way down here, but on the soft-sided blinds, he's going to have one that's going to be about a 6 or 7 foot tower only.
Okay.
So, because he's selling so many of them that people just want them at 5 foot.
Right.
And I have a lot of people this year that bought the stands and just said, well, we're just going to leave them at 5, because a lot of elderly people are starting to buy them because they feel safer in them.
Yeah. It also changes your shot angles a lot too.
Yep.
I mean, out of that horizontal blind, if you're the full 10 foot in the air and you're shooting down at 15 yards, I mean, you got to watch what you're doing.
Yeah,
So that
exactly.
would help
Especially
that.
if you're up on a hill and you got a draw or something.
Yeah.
On the hard blinds, he is the top now has got a ribbed top for more strength. He has raised the platform up a little bit higher, so it's not such a step to get in it, because it was quite a step for short-legged people like me. And then the bow windows, he still has both models, or the old model, but he has also shortened the bow windows on one model. And then he's changed the hinges on all the bow windows to make them where they'll stay open, and they won't close.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
the wind blowing.
Right.
And then higher handrails on the ladder too. So he's listening to what people has to say. So I think the soft-sided blind is probably going to be, that lower one will probably be a good sell.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be under $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah. And then
For what you're getting.
Yeah, for what you're getting. Then the stick and picks I'm going to carry, which I have those. I really like the tripod mount
Yes.
because you can get them anywhere you want them. That's what I like about
Those
them.
other ones aren't bad, but they're just not quite as easy to get in the ground, you know.
And I also like the tree ones too. What I like about all of those are you don't have to worry about sticking a stick, getting a straight tree to put them on.
Exactly.
You know, and
or if you've got, like, I used one of the tree mounts for one that I didn't have a strap that I'm not putting a ratchet strap on my camera.
Yeah.
I didn't have a strap for my camera that would go around this particular tree. It was too big.
Yeah.
But I just screw that thing in, and you can turn it any way you want it.
Yeah, you can turn them anywhere you want them. If all your pictures are over here, you're just getting them in the edge, all you got to do is go like that, and you're done. You know, you don't have to change a bunch of stuff. Going to get some of the cameras in. I haven't had any of those in. I'm going to get them out. I think that's about it with Clifford. The Radix line. I do have Big Time Seed now, or will have. I got that dealership secured, so kind of excited about that. Today, I just going to have a Limit Shield Hunt products. If you
yeah.
They have a
Enlighten me.
okay. A Limit Shield. You know Ray Phillips? Okay, you know Ray. Ray is he's a county cop there from Florida, and he has an outfitting business.
Okay.
And he was telling me about Limit Shield, and the guy and I've seen it advertised. He really likes their body foam because it's a foam you just put on your body to get rid of your scent.
Okay.
And it's
Is that what Blake uses?
I think he has before.
Something like that?
I think he has before.
Okay.
I know several guys that do use it.
I saw someone using it the other day, actually, and maybe on a video. I think so, actually.
Then they've got a concentrate that you can wash your clothes in once, and then you don't have to worry about it again for like 50 washes. And then they have the spray, and their scent spray is a little bit different than the stuff you go by to Walmart and buy, because you spray it on your clothes or whatever you're wearing, and then it will dry, but it will stay on it. Like the Walmart stuff, it dries and you're done.
Yeah. Or you're soaking wet.
Or you're soaking wet.
Yeah.
There's it's like antimicrobial stuff that stays on there and active.
Yeah.
Right?
I should have looked it up a lot more, but I didn't. But yes, you're right. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. They got a full line of products too. Actually, he said some of the hospitals are using one of their products.
They
and that's the antimicrobial.
Yeah. In hospitals, you can inherit some stinky people really easy. We know this from EMS as well, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
We've all been there.
There are some products that are odor killing, that they use in hospitals. And I had heard that this Limit Shield, that they use like the same technology, to literally try to kill scent.
Yeah.
Where there's lots of scent.
I know a few applications for that.
Yeah, it's a concentrate. It's called the Limit Shield Hunt X10D.
Okay.
That's what it is. And
I'm glad they came up with an easy name to remember.
Yeah. But they've got a 4-step program. I mean, you put the foam on, you spray, and so I'll know more about that probably by the time. Then they got the laundry detergent. And then they actually have the hair and body wash too.
So their scent elimination is their thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all they do. They've only got like 5 or 6 products. The guys out in North Carolina that does that.
Okay.
I want all of that for next year.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that because nobody around sells it.
Nope.
Nobody around.
I had actually wondered where they got it. I figured that they all, those guys that all hunted together, I figured they all banded together and got it.
Probably so. Well, actually, Ray, the guy, started this, Ray come in and bought some cameras and stuff, and he said, the guy that owns a Limit Shield said he was, he had a good buck in front of him, and his trigger froze. And wouldn't release.
Yikes.
And then he started talking about it, and I said, I've seen their stuff. And he said, yeah. I said, I'll have him come by and talk to you. And, which I knew he probably didn't have time because it was during shotgun season, second season. And, so I give Ray a card, and I got an email from him yesterday. So.
Very good.
So I emailed him back, and we got all the information, and I told him I probably wasn't going to get any products till spring. And so got that one set up and ready to go. Still have the Tacticams. They're just proven. I mean,
A lot of people like them.
Yeah.
And they're definitely up there for one of the most popular trail cameras.
Yep.
They're top 3 probably or just across the board.
I've got 8 of them out, and I've got 3 or 4 solar panels on them, and that's the way to go. Buy the solar panels, and you don't ever have to go back in there unless your SD card gets full.
Nope.
And your SD card will get full before the solar panel wears out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Easy.
There's certain places I'll run them even in the timber, and as long as they're getting some sunlight during the day,
yep,
they're fine.
Yep. They come out with the new 3.0s and 3.0 Pros this year.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get them. They back ordered, and the big box stores was more important than us little guys, But there's some different changes in those that I really like, and one of them's, you have no flash, no infrared. It's just I don't know how they're doing it, but there's
witchcraft.
No flash. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
the display screen on those intrigues me.
I haven't seen the displays on the newer ones. Like I said, I didn't get any. So,
not that he's bitter.
no, I could have sold a bunch of them because I had guys wanting them.
Yeah, I figured.
They wanted the new ones and they wanted the 3.0 Pros because they didn't want the flash.
Yeah, and it's new.
Yeah, and one guy, he said, that bothers deer. Well, whether it does or it doesn't, but how many pictures do you have where deer's looking right at the camera when your picture comes on?
That's the thing. Though, all you got to do is get that guy to believe that scares deer, and then you got him sold on one that doesn't flash.
Yeah,
I can think of several different instances where my infrared flash cameras, I would have had a buck walking in. I mean, like at least 5 or 6 times that I can think of. And I'd have it set on burst. The first picture, he's looking right at the camera. Mm-hmm. The second picture, he is turning inside out, trying to get out of there. And the third picture, he's like 2 big bounds away already. Mm-hmm. Like, that guy very much did not like it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting those in. I'm going to order early this year. Probably order them at the ATA show because I'll be there. Mm-hmm. The stealth cameras, I got those. The 360 cameras jury's still out on them. They're going to have to improve them.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 other people demoing them for me. They had the same problems I did. One, the plans are kind of high for the amount of pictures. I mean, it's $20 a month for the unlimited for one camera. Mm-hmm. I got 8 Tacticams out and
right.
45.
Right. Yeah, they're going to have to be more competitive with that.
Yeah, and then the pictures late at night, early in the morning, the lens fogs up. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to talk to Stealth at ATA as well and say, hey, what are you guys doing to take care of this? Because I Googled it, and it was a problem from the start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think they probably had a problem. They went ahead and ran them out anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I thought about, I'm going to take a paper plate and put it on top of it. And I thought maybe that'd take care of it. And some people was doing that. They's taking frisbees, small frisbees, and put them right on top of them, drilling a hole in them or super gluing them or something. Mm-hmm. And they said that was helping. But you pay $150 for a camera, you don't have to do anything for it.
Put a $3 frisbee on top of it for work, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that.
And we talked about the fission bikes. They're proven. Mm-hmm. Really like those. And now the mock wheels, I'm looking forward to getting those in and seeing that. And we'll still get other stuff. We're going to run out of room one of these days.
Right.
That's a good problem.
Expand the building. That you don't run out of room, you just build on.
Too old for that.
Jacob's
almost too old for this. Well, yeah, Jacob can. When Jacob starts throwing money at it, then we
there
can
you go. He can do the additions.
But I feel like I got a good line of products. I really feel like the Radix. I mean, Nate was talking to them down here. I don't think you can beat their products for the price. Mm-hmm. No, the quality of them.
Yeah,
I really don't. And Clifford's just great to work with, so that's not a problem there. But
yeah, I would say that across the board for a lot of the stuff, the Fission bikes for sure, the Tacticam trail cameras. They're not cheap. They're not made cheap.
No,
they're not incredibly expensive, but they're very high quality products.
Yeah, well, and that's like the Fission bikes. You can buy a cheap e-bike. You can buy an e-bike for $800.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. It's cheap.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get that. I wanted to get a quality bike. And
you want something that's affordable, not cheap.
Yep. There's a young boy up at Flora. Remind me to talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
He's doing some production, kind of like you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
And I sponsored him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, come and get one of my bikes and do a demo on it. He and his uncle, they have friends come from the South. And they had Rad, Fission, and Rambo. Or no, Quiet Cat and Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
And Rad bikes there. And they all could not get over how much more power the Fission had than those bikes.
Really?
And some of those bikes are, we said earlier, $3,500 bikes.
Yeah.
So the thing about the Mach wheels too, like I said, they have the step through. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 1,000 watt bike through Mach wheel, fairly reasonable. I don't think anybody wants 1,000 watt because then you got to register it.
You got to register it?
Yep.
For what?
Because it's
as a motor vehicle.
Motor vehicle.
What?
Yeah, and honestly,
JB getting that money?
Yeah.
well,
Good
somebody's
grief.
got to. I don't know why. I mean,
We're not going to get political.
I got more than enough. There's more than enough power in that bike, like I said, for anything I'm going to do. I'm not trying to pull a moose uphill.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, when I'm
or a horse.
I mean, I weigh 235 pounds, and I'm riding that bike across a drilled wheat field.
Yeah.
That I'm probably, if I'm walking across it, I'm probably sinking up to my ankles in, and I'm going across it and only have to pedal twice.
Right.
You know, so that showed me a lot right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
you really got to register them.
Yep. If you do
With who?
The Secretary of State. If you Google it, the 1,000 watt bikes, you can't ride them in Shawnee. And
Good grief.
Crazy.
yeah. Yep.
I would have never considered that.
And you really don't need a 1,000 watt bike.
Yeah.
Some people think you do, but
Even if I had one, I'd probably still never consider that.
yeah. Did you guys see the video I posted on my page about the guy riding, they killed the buck and then
He had it on the cart?
had it on cart
Yeah.
and rode it up that hill
Yep.
and never pedaled once?
Yep.
And that was a pretty decent sized buck.
Yeah, that's something I've been impressed with is the amount of power you can get out of those without pedaling, just
Yeah.
with the accelerator on the bike.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, if you need a little bit extra, it doesn't take anything to pedal.
No. Oh, the fun thing about it is,
And they'll kick right up, too.
they'll kick right up.
When that
yeah.
pedal turns over, you better be ready.
Yeah. We took him to Hilton Head on vacation. Gloria and I did. And Hilton Head has 60 miles of bike trails.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took him, and I Googled about, can you ride him on the beach? And it said, yeah. So there's actually a 6 mile bike trail on the beach. So they said go out at low tide because there's one area that's kind of impassable because of the water coming up, or probably a little dike or something. But anyway, we couldn't. So we went out on basically high tide. So we only had about 2 or 3 feet to ride.
Uh-huh.
So we rode him down the beach a couple miles, and well, really it was just a photo op because Gloria wanted to take pictures for marketing.
Right.
And that was neat. So we did that, and then we loaded him up and took him over to Carlisle one Sunday afternoon and rode the trails and stuff over there. So they're fun to ride.
Oh, yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Has Amanda rode it? You've been letting her ride?
Has she rode it yet? I think she has. Yeah, she has.
Okay.
She's rode it. She likes it. I was trying to think. I don't think Mom's rode it. She kept telling me, once you get it figured out, I like, it's a bike. I got to figure it out. It'll be fine. But I've rode it up just back and forth up here to work. Sometimes when I don't have Reagan, like zip right up here.
Yeah. I think they're game changers. I mean, we've all said that. I think Blake likes his a lot too. No.
I don't know if Nate likes it because it makes it easier for Blake to get over to his house.
Just all of a sudden, boom,
Less
there
effort.
he is.
Yeah, it's quiet. He's too quiet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Ridge Hunter Outdoors podcast. If you've made it to this point, hopefully you're enjoying the show. And if you are, go over to our Facebook page and our Instagram. Give us a follow. It's Ridge Hunter Outdoors. We also have a private Facebook group. That's Ridge Hunter Nation. You can go over there and answer a couple questions. And if you're a regular listener of the podcast or you watch any of our shows on YouTube or Carbon TV, You get in that group and just use it as your normal hunting group. Share your success, your failures, pictures, whatever you got, and we'll also give you some extra content in there. I'll ask questions on that, maybe do some surveys occasionally, and we'll also give you guys the opportunity to ask questions for any of our guests that we might have coming on, if we have them lined up in time and that's available. You'll find that at Ridge Hunter Nation. That's on Facebook. Our website is ridgehunteroutdoors.com. That's where you're going to see our scent line, Ridge Hunter Scents, our buck tarsal spray, doe tarsal spray, and our calming spray. All of our apparel is available on the website, and our food plot seed, when it is in stock, is available on the website too. If you want any of that stuff, make sure you use our discount code RHOPOD or Full Draw, all caps on either of those, no space, and you get 10% off your entire order. We also have our entire catalog of podcasts on the website, and our video series are available on there as well. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other audio platform, give us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever it lets you do, and that'll let you guys know when our episodes come out. They're not always as consistent as we want them to be, but we try to shoot for Monday and Friday. Sometimes it gets on a Tuesday or a Saturday maybe for an episode, and that way you'll know when they come out. It also really helps us without costing you anything. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hopefully you're already subscribed to the channel. If you're not, make sure you do that. If you're not listening to this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, make sure you go over there and do that at Ridgehunteroutdoors, just like everything else. That's where you'll find our fall pursuit show, spring strutting, all of our off-season vlogs will be on there, and much more. If you guys see a video or listening to a podcast on there and you're enjoying it, just drop us a comment. Hey, good show. Really enjoyed it. Something simple. Give the video a like. That really, really helps us out. And again, it doesn't take much of your time at all. You can also find Fall Pursuit on Carbon TV, and Spring Strutting will be on there this spring as well. So make sure you go over to Carbon TV. They have a lot of great shows to offer, and ours will be on there also. Thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate you tuning in when you do. Now let's get back to the episode.
So, but no, I still have one demo left. I'll sell it if I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I sold out. Yeah, it's black though.
They got a weight limit on them. Just saying.
I have to put 3 more pounds of air in the tires for me.
Them tires got 30-some pound of air in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What did I tell you the weight limit was on those?
Oh, I don't know.
I forget.
It's like 300.
I think it's like
pounds or
something. Yeah, maybe 350.
Can't wear my backpack.
Hey, I know some guys who couldn't. They couldn't ride them on there in their skivvies.
But yeah, they're game changers. I would not have killed that buck without that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes it. I messed up my knee too this summer, and walking in,
Yep.
it made a difference there. I mean, because there's times I was hurting by the time I got to the stand,
Mm-hmm.
and riding that bike in, like I said, no effort.
Yep.
And Gloria, when we was in Hilton Head, she'd pedal. And I thought, heck with that.
Right?
I'd just pedal every once in a while just to make her think I was doing something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But man,
The only
that
time-
button pushes a lot easier than those pedals.
Oh,
are.
yeah, it does. The only time I would consider it a little bit of work was that 1 mile ride I was telling you about. Part of it was through that cut cornfield. If you're trying to ride it between rows of a cut cornfield and it's a little bit wet, it can be a little tough. But it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It beat the heck out of walking a mile with all my stuff, trying not to sweat.
Yeah.
So
That's the fun part about it is you don't sweat.
mm-hmm. Stay warmer for so much longer.
Oh, yeah. Because that's one of the struggles with deer hunting. You sweat going in.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Then
you're
you
trying
freeze
to
to
wear
death.
You're trying to wear warm boots and warm socks, and you walk in. It could be 10 degrees outside, and everything else could be cold, but your feet are going to sweat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, even if it's, say, 40 degrees and the wind's blowing 10 mile an hour,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not cold, but you're sweating. It's cold.
That wind's going to cut right through you. Absolutely. Yep.
But I was talking about, I said it earlier, we didn't see the amount of deer that we usually see, the big quality deer. And I've heard that a lot this year from different people.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Ewing said he's not seeing them, and he's one that knows.
Mm-hmm.
Butler Outdoors posted on their Facebook page today that they same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think EHD was a lot more prevalent than what a lot of people think
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Possible.
I know up north.
We'll find out during shed season.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know up north of Orchardville, up there by Mitchell, where he lives, There's one guy found 3 dead ones on 80 acres.
Yeah.
All,
I haven't
all
found
next
any.
to water.
Yeah.
I haven't found any dead ones or heard of a bunch of dead ones, but like shed season will know if guys are finding them dead. But we didn't have, at the shop, we didn't have a ton of monster bucks this year for sure. I mean, still like same number, probably more bucks, and gradually over the last few years, probably more bucks. But and part of that could be too people shooting a crap ton of 3-year-olds, you know?
Yeah.
Like we've talked about that before, where at some point we talked earlier about the economy and how big deer hunting is for that. At some point, if nothing's done about it, if people are there's more people hunting now with the crossbows for sure. That's added more. There's more deer dying during bow season. Like you can look at, I'm sure any of the numbers, they'll show you that. Just because I think a lot of that is because there's just more people hunting during bow season, which is fine. Like I got no problem with that. It's just a fact is that more deer are dying.
Yeah.
So if more deer are dying, more bucks are dying. The same guys that are shooting a 2 or 3-year-old in gun season are going to shoot a 2 or 3-year-old with crossbow the same way. So like there's probably more of those deer dying. At some point, it's going to take a toll on the age structure of the whole herd, and then why would you spend the money to come up and hunt in Illinois?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because if you're shooting 130-inch deer, you can do that about anywhere in the United States.
Right.
Except for maybe Pennsylvania and up in there.
Yeah, like there's definitely some places where they're, but like 120 and 130-inch deer is pretty common about anywhere throughout the range.
Yeah. I mean, you can go, I'm not saying this year, but you can go about every year or every day in season and see 120, 130.
If you're in a decent spot, yeah.
I mean, if you're in the managed area, you know, where you got food for them and stuff. But this year, and you'd see your occasional 140, 150, 160, but this year we just didn't see that as much.
I've heard some people too, though, say that they seen some of the deer that they had from last year did take big jumps this year too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, but the number of them maybe wasn't there, you know, like there wasn't as many as what they thought. So,
well, both the deer I killed, we didn't have on camera.
Yeah.
At all. Cole killed the big wide one, and it was a management deer that we needed to get rid of. He killed it, and then Bo killed the one that we had on camera a lot, and then he killed one that we didn't have on camera. So, and we killed decent deer on 3 different farms. So, I said, yeah, I mean, it was a frustrating season, but then I killed 2 decent deer that I mean, and the first one I killed was an older deer. I mean, it was a mature deer.
Yeah.
I don't know about the second one. I didn't really. It was dark, and by the time I got it messed around with, and I don't even remember the rack very much, except for he went straight up because I loaded him up and came right down here.
Yep.
So
I think it's a combination of things. But like you said, that DHD thing, we'll find out about February, March when people start really hitting the shed hunting hard.
Yep.
Then we'll know if guys are finding a bunch of dead heads.
Yep.
Because otherwise it's hard to know unless you went out in August, September and did a bunch of walking and just found something then. Or, I mean, it's hard to say.
Did I ever tell you last year there were some guys that rabbit hunted on the field there coming into us? They found a really big buck that was dead very early fall, late summer. He's finished growing, but like all his tines were real sharp, you know. He's dead in a waterway, likely EHD.
Yeah, I think he sent us a picture of it.
He had 7 tines on that one side.
He was a big deer.
wow.
I figured you were just holding out on us. You had pictures of him all along and didn't tell us.
No. I was like, where in the world did that thing come from?
Yeah. Well, what I'm going off of too is a lot of the guys around my area that usually kill big deer haven't.
Yeah.
This year. I mean, we had the big one last weekend. Then there was a big one early, but then the rest of that stuff was just 140s to 160s. There's nothing.
Yeah.
The 170s, 180s that was killed.
Like I said, gun season was, from the quality perspective, I mean, he had some 60s and 70s, but I don't know if we got a deer over 100, low 170s in either of the shotgun seasons. However, bow season, like, we got a bunch of big deer. So.
And that was probably early.
Yeah. I mean, most of them were
October.
Maybe October, definitely early November. I don't remember when the really big one was killed. But, I mean, several 70s, couple 80s, and 1 or 2 90s. Like,
I'd like to see one of those from the stand.
no kidding.
20 yards.
No kidding.
Broadside. I was going to try to film this year.
Uh-huh.
and I didn't get it done.
You got a mount or something, didn't you?
I got
Didn't
one.
you get you a mount?
I got one of the mounts like Jeff has.
Yep.
And I went to put it on, and I was gonna have to I went to put it on the day before I was gonna go hunting. So I was gonna have to take my scope off
Mm-hmm.
and put it on, and I didn't do it. Well, both the deer I killed would have been sweet
Right there.
videos.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, how it goes. So I'm gonna look into doing something different. Maybe get a GoPro or something to wear, because I can't afford the cameras you guys have.
Well, you know how we roll. Right in the middle. Oh, shoot. You got anything else you want to cover or anything new
No,
that we
pretty
missed
good.
before we get you out of here?
No, I think I'm good.
Everybody will get to hear from you again here in another
Yep.
6 months or so, probably. So,
So no, but if you're just looking for some even houses, any type of real estate, you know, Rodney Hawkins, Jacob Hawkins, Midwest Farmerland, and then if you're out of state hunters or you get up here and you need product, we or local people too. We have everything up there at Flora. So I'm really banking on a lot of sales next year after off this year. So
yep. We need to get you some Ridge Hunter scents in there next season.
we can do that too. Yeah, because I don't have anything like that as far as the
Right. The scent
serum.
part yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we need to do that too, because I was going to mention that.
All right.
All right.
We'll get out of here. Thanks, everybody. We will catch you on the next one.